What are some seriously underloved whiskeys that you need to try? Well, my patrons have some thoughts on that. We've got 10 whiskeys today. Stick around. What's up, guys? Jeff coming to you from the 18, and today we're going over 10 whiskeys that deserve more love. Now, that is not to say that these are obscure bottles, that they're completely unheard of. A lot of them aren't, but it's just that they should probably be a bigger part of the conversation. I've got 10 bottles for you today. These are going to be in ascending order of patron popularity. At the end of the list, I'm going to tell you which of those 10 that I personally would have picked as my number one. And of course, as always, it's a G Whiskey video. We've got the mystery pour. The mystery pour is what we call a hook here on YouTube, and it's designed to manipulate you into sticking around till the end of the video. So please do that. Your hint for today's mystery pour is that this is a peated whiskey. It's from a fairly new distillery, and it's a brand that's been racking up a lot of accolades lately. So there we go. Good luck guessing, and let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into our list. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. At the back of this list, at number 10, we've got Scapa 10, and I did not see this one coming. This one is part of the new Scapa range. I reviewed it a while back, and for me, it was a like, but it wasn't a love. I scored it 84. Ironically, though, I actually like the 10 more than the 16, and that did kind of surprise me. This is not a bad whiskey at all. It's just one that didn't really light my world on fire. Still easy drinking, still nice. Flavor-wise, I would describe this as tart, fruity, and spicy. We get sort of like green apple, green mango kind of tartness in here, and we get some coastal savoriness in the finish. It works. Personally, though, I would not have included this on the list, but that is part of the fun of letting my patrons in on the action every so often. I'm sure a lot of the time our tastes do align, but when they don't, it does make things kind of interesting. So we're starting things off with a curveball at number 10, Scapa 10. At number 9, we have Glen Scotia 15, and this is an interesting pick because it used to be very popular. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years ago. This was around the time where Glen Scotia had recently ditched the Disco Cow bottles in favor of the new lineup, and enthusiasts were loving this stuff. They thought it was excellent, and it had a lot of momentum back then. Recently, I think a lot of that enthusiasm has cooled. This is not part of the conversation today like it was back in the day. This is another one where I don't love it quite as much as a lot of you guys out there seem to, but it is a good whiskey for sure. Flavor-wise, we get toffee, we get caramel, and we get stewed fruits. And what's interesting here is that I don't know about other markets. I think broadly speaking, it is very easy to find, but this is a bottle that I don't see too often in my market nowadays. Maybe it's just not particularly popular here. I don't know the reason, but I don't see it around quite as much. Maybe you guys do. If you do, let me know down below in the comments if you can find this one easily. Either way, comes in at number 9, Glen Scotia 15. Okay, coming in at number 8, we've got a banger. I've got AnCnoc 24. And this was, back in the day, considered to be one of the great, affordable, well-aged whiskeys. Nowadays, good luck finding it. Now, I'm actually not sure if this has been discontinued or not, because I feel like in a lot of places, people complain that they can't find it, and that's definitely true in my market. If you go to the website, you'll still see the 24 up on the website. But they also have the old labeled version of the 12 up on the website, which makes me think maybe they didn't update the website in a while. If any of you guys know anything about this, do let me know down below in the comments, because I would love to know if this is still in production, if it's still being sold. I did review this one on the channel a few years back, and I thought it was excellent, especially for the age, for the price, great value. For our 3-word descriptors, I would say that this was mature, balanced, and sherried. At number 7, my patrons chose Clynelish 14. And yes, this is a well-known whiskey. Yes, it gets attention, but it's not my list. And again, this isn't about being an obscure whiskey that you've never heard of. It's just whiskeys that my patrons feel deserve more love. And for this one, yeah, I kind of get it. Clynelish 14 is one of the few Diageo products that comes in at a respectable 46%, which is what a lot of enthusiasts are looking for. Traditionally, it has been known for having a particularly waxy profile, as well as just like a classic Highland character. As far as the waxiness goes, though, a lot of people do complain that in recent years, it's not quite as waxy as it once was with those older batches, which Yeah, that's true. I would still argue that waxiness is still part of the Clynelish 14 profile though, so let's describe this as waxy, honeyed vanilla. And this is another one that I've never loved quite as much as the wider enthusiast crowd, but I do get the appeal. It is a no frills, well executed, classic Highland profile. Comes in at number, 7? Comes in at number 7, Clynelish 14. Number 6 is Fettercairn 16, and this one is an absolute treat. I have loved this one since its initial release. This first came out, I think, maybe 6-7 years ago, and initially what they'd done with this whiskey is they planned to make it a batch whiskey where they would play around with casks or production techniques year to year. It was an annual release. A few years back, though, they did decide to standardize the bottling, so it's just a normal part of their core range now, and I think they nailed the recipe. I think it is a phenomenal whiskey. It is non-chill filtered, it is natural color, it's a craft whiskey, and it just gets a lot right. Flavor-wise, this is bright, it's honeyed and fruity, and unlike a lot of the rest of this list, this is a whiskey that I truly would describe as a hidden gem. Definitely deserves to be talked about more. Comes in at number 6, Fettercairn 16. At number 5, we have Deanston 12, which kind of surprised me because this one is pretty well known. A lot of people know this one, a lot of people talk about this one. But again, we're not going for obscure. Needs more love, according to my patrons. Now, I've never connected with this one quite as much as a lot of other people do, which seems to be a theme today. On paper, I should absolutely love this one, but in practice, it's nice, it's fine, I don't love it. It is undeniably a well-made, well-put-together whiskey. It's fully craft, 46.3% non-chill filtered, natural color. It's decent. It's just, again, I haven't connected with it. I would describe the flavors here as malty, floral, and honeyed. For me, I think it's the floral aspect of this whiskey that I've never really clicked with. It leans into almost like a cologne style of flavor. For me, I seem to be alone. I'm the only one who seems to pick up on it, so maybe I'm the crazy one. Everyone and their grandmother likes this whiskey, and it comes in at number 5, Deanston 12. Number 4 is Hazelburn 10, and I love this whiskey, and this is another one, yes, well known, but within the Springbank family, it is undeniably the least talked about and potentially the least respected. Springbank itself, as in the main line Springbank, of course, legendary stuff. Longrow gets a lot of respect for its peaty character, and Hazelburn sits quietly in the corner. A lot of the cask forward special releases do pretty well, but the standard 10, beautiful stuff, and yeah, potentially does deserve to get talked about a little bit more. I like the fact that this is the most delicate and the most subtle of the 3 affordable Springbanks out there, as in Longrow, Springbank 10, and Hazelburn 10. This one, honestly, it could be my favorite. It's up there with Springbank 10. I would describe this stuff as delicate, malty, and fruity. Great texture in here as well. Of course, with Springbank, it's always going to be fully craft. And yeah, within the Springbank family, could use more love. Comes in at number 4, Hazelburn 10. At number 3, we have a whiskey that is very near and dear to my heart. I think my patrons chose very wisely. We've got Kilchoman 100% Islay. And I've said this a few times on the channel. I think this is one of Kilchoman's strongest releases. Be warned though that you do not get the massive peaty blast that you get in a lot of their other releases. I think standard Kilchomans are 50 ppm if I'm not mistaken, and this one, or this line rather, comes in at 20 ppm. It's more subtle and it's more toned down. And as a result of that lighter touch, the barley and the distillate really shine. So I would describe the character here as gentle peat, barley, and honey. This stuff is cleaner, it's less cask driven, and it is consistently solid whiskey year after year. And what's nice is they're actually expanding this line outwards. So we're getting aged stuff, we're getting cask forward stuff nowadays. But the standard classic 100% Islay, great way to sort of explore a different side of Kilchoman. Really solid, comes in at number 3. At number 2, we have Edradour Caledonia, and this one's a little bit tough because availability can be sparse, at least here. You can find it in my market, but also sometimes you can't, and it's only a few specific shops that ever carry it. Still, if you like sherried stuff, this is absolutely worth a go, and it's a bit of a legend within the enthusiast community because it is not a clean, pretty, polished sherry. This is dirty, it's funky, it's a little bit old school. I would describe this stuff as funky, dark, and intense. It's not pretty, but it is very delicious, and it's great if you're in the mood for a sherry bomb with a bit of its own twist, its own character. Comes in at number 2. Great pick, Edradour Caledonia. Top spot, number 1 spot. This one goes to Ledaig Rioja. Rioja. Yes, this is already popular. Yes, it deserves more love. This is one of the most absurd value buys in whiskey today. This is extremely affordable, it's peaty, it's wonderfully balanced with a Rioja cask influence, and I've said it before on the channel, not only is this more affordable than the 10-year-old, which is already very affordable, I think it's better. I would describe this as smoky, fruity, and intense. Subtlety has left the building with this one, elegance has called in sick, but this whiskey is just fun. And again, incredible value. Definitely deserving of the number 1 spot. People know about it, but they should be talking about it more. Ledaig Rioja. Alright, that was the list, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you to my patrons for putting together such an interesting list. And this is the part where I send it out to you guys. What are some whiskeys that deserve more love? Again, we're not necessarily going for obscure. It's not hidden gem type stuff, but just whiskeys that need to be a bigger part of the conversation. What do you have? I mentioned earlier that I would give you my personal pick for most underloved whiskey on this list, and that's got to go to number 6, which is the Fettercairn 16. I think that is a beautiful whiskey and one that truly is not part of the conversation at all and truly does deserve to be. So that would be my top pick on this. But another question for you, among what was put forward by my patrons, which pick would be your first? Finally, if you stuck around to find out what the mystery pour in the glass is, I mentioned earlier that this is a peated whiskey. It's from a newish distillery and it's been racking up a lot of accolades lately. What I'm drinking is Ardnahoe Bolsa. This is a brand that's been getting a lot of love recently. They are still young, but they are doing a lot of things right. We get rich mouth-coating peat. They use worm tubs. This particular bottle has a really nice sherried influence. It's good stuff. Review coming soon. And that will bring us to the end of today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to my patrons, not only for their wonderful support, but for contributing to today's video. You guys are absolute legends. If you want to help out, I will put Patreon and PayPal in the links down below. And I guess we'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.